This is Ampio with US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 9th of January. And nice bounce there, basically a bear trap from below that mid-December support there, 46.99. And we're looking for 48.20, which we were looking for last month, but hopefully we'll get that this month, which is a September 2022 resistance line projection. The downside at the moment, probably the worst we're looking at, is 46.20, which is that old August 2022 resistance line projection. But obviously with yesterday's rebound, things looking more to the upside, especially with the RSI rebound above neutral 50 as well, which tends to be a decent continuation signal. Onto the stocks, and starting off with Ambrx, and here you can see that we've got the shares pushing, well, they pushed through the 50-day line, a rising 50-day line back at the end of November, and we're expecting the shares to make progress within the channel I'm about to draw at the moment. One in place since the summer, top of that channel heading towards the $20 mark, and we're looking for that as soon as the end of next month. Obviously, we're cautious, should wait for a break of recent resistance around $15 before assuming that the upside will be fulfilled. The support there just around the $12 area and the 50-day moving average. Next up is another new name, Ampio Pharmaceuticals, and here we've got a broadening triangle base. The share is just trying to stay within that triangle. Probably what we'd like to see is an end-of-day close, or proper end-of-day closes above the 50-day moving average. That's currently around the $2.50 level, and then recent resistance up to $2.80, which would be the trigger for momentum traders to look for a retest of the $6 level, which was the peak early last month. In fact, back in the end of November. On to a new stock, well, the next stock rather, not a new stock. We've already looked at this before, Ardelyx. Here, a beautiful breakout here with a gap. We already had the gap higher off the lows basically back in November, and now sort of continuation of that. That means that we're looking for the shares to make progress within the channel I'm about to draw at the moment, which should be heading towards the $10 level as soon as the end of this month. That channel there really from back in October. Upside valid while we're above, well, probably on the right side of $7 given the range that we had for the shares yesterday. Next up is one which hopefully will be following in that kind of action, BioCryst. Here we've had an equally sharp rebound without a gap in this case, but the 50-day line rising. We had a bounce off that back in December, and we're looking for the shares to hit the resistance line projection from back in August. That's heading towards $9.50. Hopefully we can get to that by the end of this month, especially while we hold above the old support on the way down around $6.80. So above that, which is basically pre-September support for the shares, looking for the $9.50 level on BioCryst. Next up is another stock which hopefully will be on the front foot very soon. A recovery situation in terms of the rebound for the shares off December support around the $2.25 area. Above that, we're looking for the 50-day moving average. That is also resistance on the way down up towards $5, hopefully by the end of next month. Stock with a rather esoteric name coming up next. It is 1847 Holdings, and here the situation is that we're obviously trying to recover from a deadly looking bear run rather for the shares, but the shares have actually now pushed above the 50-day line at $2.30, and above that we're looking for a retest of not only last month's resistance towards the $5 area, but also post-October resistance for the shares in that $4 to $5 band. So hopefully you see that by the end of this month while we're above the 50-day line. Another revisit on the next stock is GeneDX Holdings, and here a nice little hookup for the shares, rising trend channel there, which I'm just extended now from back in October. The top of the channel there heading towards $6, and looking for that by the end of next month or even sooner, especially while we remain above $3.20, which was the recent December resistance for the shares. Harpoon is a stock which was going great guns a couple of months ago. Here we've got a broadening triangle base, top of that triangle now up to $14, and we're looking for that while we're above the 50-day moving average around the $9.70 area. That's rising well at the moment. Mountain Cafe is next, and White Mountain Crest rather, I don't think it's a cafe. Here we've got the shares breaking through the top of that broadening triangle that we had there and overshooting that by quite some distance. So basically that is a win for the charting, but above $13.30, looking for a partial or even full retest of the spike that we saw yesterday for these shares, and obviously that should hopefully happen over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Moving on to another stock which could be a winner in the near term, Nkarta or Nkarta. Here we've got a beautiful saucer-shaped turnaround, and that neckline broken there around $4. Recent resistance around the $7.20 level, but the main aspect here is how much of the decline that we had from the latter part of 2022 we're going to try and retrace. At this stage, probably the best view is that while we're above old resistance on the way down around $8.50, we're looking for up to $13 or even $14 by the end of this month. That $14 area, the October 2022 resistance for the shares. On to the last three. First one is coming up, and it's Spectaire Holdings. Here we've had a gap through the 50-day moving average. We haven't been back above that since the summer. That line there, or that level there, around $2, and above that we're looking for a retest of yesterday's resistance towards $3.20 over the next couple of weeks. Next up is stock we looked at yesterday, so it's good to see it back. Obviously that means that the shares have followed through. We've hit our resistance line target there around $3.80, and obviously keen and looking for more, and we already had that factored in yesterday with that line drawn there to $5.50, so hopefully $5.50 by the end of this month while we're above the $3.80 level, the old resistance line target. Finishing off with Universe Pharmaceuticals, and here nice rebound here for the stocks above a rising 50-day moving average. That's the second one we've had in the last month. Recent resistance already tested really towards $2.80. Above that, not really much on the chart until $4.20, which was the old May resistance. So while we're above that with the recent resistance around $2, looking for up to $4.20 on Universe. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.